Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica.
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And we are here to rant and rave.
Jessica.
Yes.
Oh no, she's holding it. Where do you get all of these mouths on a stick? They're like photo booth props, right?
Well, no, but I mean, I guess they could be, obviously. I just like to keep it, and it's really good for just online use. I don't think I've ever brought it out in public.
Why are you saying it? Because I know for a fact you have more than one. Because you put one up when I was talking to Hallen yesterday. Yes, there's the other one.
This one's really creepy. I mean, they're all creepy.
They're
Who am
all
I kidding?
creepy mouths on a stick that you hold in front of your face.
And they do not look real, which I think is even more horrifying.
Yeah, they look like somebody's coming to murder you. Like you walked right out of a Ryan Murphy show.
Oh my God.
Jessica.
Well, Dana and I just had a very uplifting conversation.
Oh my God, you guys, I just ruined Jessica's whole day.
No.
No, but we should tell people what it is. I don't know that I've mentioned it on here before.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know why, because usually we say what we're watching.
Yeah.
I just finished the limited series on A&E about the secrets of Playboy, or the secrets behind Playboy. Oh, people. You got to be strong to watch it. You do. It's so heartbreaking. It is so astonishing. You know, I think a lot of people think, oh, those women are stupid. They knew what they were signing up for. They really didn't.
Right.
It was really so horrible, and it was all under the guise of...
Also, does anyone sign up for torture?
No, because there was a lot of torture, a lot of rape, a lot of drugging, a lot of be quiet or you'll lose everything. And it was, you know, they had many shadow mansions, they called them, where these old friends of his would invite models to come live while they pursued their careers. That's not what was happening. But, you know, now that he's gone, a lot of this is coming out. But the effects of it, those who are still alive are feeling the effects of it horribly, and they're shamed constantly, even though he's the one that did the bad things. And then there was a lot of death that I didn't realize revolved around a lot of the playmates.
I didn't know that either.
Of course, there were the big ones that hit the news, like Dorothy Strathane was killed by her estranged husband, but she was tortured at the house, too. Anyway, in light of what is going on in our country, for those of us not in our country, they are overturning Roe versus Wade. And Jessica and I don't get political. This is not a political podcast, but what is happening is scary. And I would say if you're a woman, it might be a good idea to watch that Playboy documentary. Even I'm not a sex worker. I never have been. I don't want to get nude in front of myself, let alone a camera. But it was shocking to me. It made me realize that somewhere in the back of my brain, I had judged those women. Whether I said it out loud or not, my thoughts were, you knew what you were signing up for. That's not the case. It's really not. You know, the twins who were his last girlfriends, they did an interview with them, and they legitimately thought they were signing up to be his, quote, girlfriends for the show.
Right.
That it was an acting, you know, and that was not the case. And it became very clear aggressively, very quickly. And there was no choice. They lived there. They were prisoners there almost. So anyway, it's a rough watch. It's a real rough watch.
Yep.
And all of the things that he kept, you know, that they signed contracts, all media for his, that he could do as he sees fit. When he passed away, all the videotapes from parties, all the pictures, everything were loaded onto a boat, sent out to sea. And now that stuff pops up as advertisement lures for people to come to porn sites. And the women who are in these images have zero legal power to
Mhm.
take their images off of these porn sites.
Out
Now,
to sea
when
like L. Ron Hubbard.
uh because, in the
They can get
water,
away
there's
with
no
what I
law.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's what I dumped on Jessica, but, like, 30 minutes of it.
N No, but and I'm sure this will come up again more and more, but yeah, I mean, we can leave it at this for now, but we are both horrified and scared with a lot of
It's
things that
just
are
not
going
okay.
on
I
right
think a
now.
lot of our listeners also we spoke about her a lot, our friend Molly Hockey,
Mhm,
who did a podcast called Spermcast. She was single and wanted to have a baby and was looking for a donor. She did eventually get pregnant,
mhm.
and there was a medical issue with the baby,
Yeah,
and
a
she had
major
major that would have been painful for the child and ended in death very quickly.
mhm,
Um, she couldn't even terminate that pregnant she had to go to another state. She had to walk through lines of people calling her a murderer, and all she has wanted is a baby.
yeah,
It was so painful for her,
mhm,
and I can't help like, whatever my moral beliefs are or whatever my choice is fine for me because that's my body.
right,
Do not tell someone what they can do with their bodies or can't do. We don't
right,
do that to men. Men have
correct.
no laws on their bodies.
Well, I read something amazing the other day, and I'm like, I've always thought this. Um, Vasectomies, number 1, are reversible.
Reversible, yeah.
So somebody, it's not like you haven't ever heard that before, but somebody wrote, okay, how about we start having all men, I don't remember what they said, age 18, 16, whatever, all men as of age, blah, 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 have a vasectomy. And
Mhm,
then when they are deemed psychologically and financially able to support having a child with someone, they can have that vasectomy reversed.
mhm. That would never
And
happen. But
of
that
course it wouldn't. And it's so controlling, but it's like, oh, that sounds
to see the
crazy to
comparison.
people.
Right.
But I mean,
Not
you and
for
I were just
women.
saying they're about to ban IUDs in Missouri.
Yeah,
That
birth
means
control.
you're not even allowed to prevent it.
Correct. And I don't wanna hear your arguments about this is a life, and adoption and foster care. First of all, I know
Yeah.
many people who were adopted or in foster care. Those children are abused and they go from
Mhm.
family to family with
Mhm.
trash bags that
Yes.
has everything they own in it. A trash bag. What?
Yep.
I have a friend that lived that life. It's
Yes.
real. It's not news stories.
Right.
How would you feel if everything you owned, first of all, fit in a trash bag, but it was also so not important to anyone that they just gave you a trash bag to carry your life in?
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they take away assistance to single mothers. They don't wanna give assistance to foster care and things like, I just don't it's not about the babies because when the babies are
No.
born, you don't wanna take care of them.
Correct.
This is about control. It's Handmaid's Tale. Whatever. We should stop talking because we're not a
We will.
political
We're gonna
podcast.
go nuts. We're gonna go
But we will.
nuts.
But just I mean, we are not a political podcast, and that's why we don't talk about these things, but make no mistake, Jessica and I are furious about what is going on in our country, and it's just dead wrong. It's wrong.
I mean, I'm not making any threat. I'm serious. This is not like a blind threat or like proclamation, but I will tell you that my head has been reeling because I said if this ever happened, that this would be when I moved back to Canada. So this is happening. So
I know.
um, I'm really having a lot of thoughts about that because I
Well,
said if this day ever comes, I won't stay in this country, and it's coming. So I'm just really reeling about all of this and trying to limit some of my reading and my news watching
well,
at this time.
you know, and
Not
when
to be
you look
uninformed, but for my own sanity.
well, I think a lot of people have had to do that lately, especially depending where you live. Like, I know
Yeah.
someone that lives in a small town
Hmm.
where there's no debate, there's no discussion. They just scream at you, and she
Yeah.
said, "I can't handle it.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna change their mind. They vilify you, they
Yes.
scream at your face, and so I just keep my mouth shut." And
Hmm.
I can't imagine living that way.
No.
Um, I'm pretty outspoken and a firecracker. We try to keep the political stuff off of our show, but I felt like this needed to at least be mentioned. And if
Yes.
anyone wants to adopt me and my family in another country, I may be looking for a way out.
Ugh. You can live in the basement. Just kidding. We can get a 2-level home and we can flip a coin.
Oh my God. Well,
Okay.
if I may,
Mm-hmm.
can I share something really beautiful before we move
Yes.
on, just to kind
Do
of get
it.
that taste out of our mouth? But I will
Yes.
say on A&E, Secrets Behind Playboy, it
Mm-hmm.
might be something women need to watch
Mm-hmm.
because that was always painted as, no, the women have the power. They are in control of their sexuality. It's
Mm-hmm.
feminism. It's, all these not the case. So you may want to take a look
Right.
to see how we would be fooled again over and over, right?
Right.
So, yeah, Sunday was Mother's Day,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not go through my son's backpack on Friday, and he made me a card, and so
Oh.
when he went to school yesterday, he gave it to me. He was like, "You forgot your card." So that was lovely. I don't know if you can
Oh
see.
my God.
It's a
How
little
cute. It's a
out of paper.
flower
It's a
pot.
flower bouquet, yes, and so he drew on the little flowers and made a little, wrap around it, and then each one of the flowers says something different. So,
Read it.
please, can I read them? And I
Yes.
have this is not
Can't
brags.
believe you didn't send me a picture of this. It's so
I will
cute.
because it's the cutest. But this is not brags on me as a mom, and I'll get to that once I finish telling you the amazing things that my child wrote, because I think our perception of ourselves as parents and people
Mhm.
is obviously skewed always. And
Sure.
to see myself through my son's eyes, it's gonna
Oh,
make me emotional.
I love that.
Okay. My mom is the best because she makes grilled cheese.
Oh.
Now, he loves grilled cheese, okay? And there was a learning curve because I didn't make it like daddy, okay? And, he tells me, you're not a good cook, right?" And I'm like, "I do. Yeah, I
Hilarious.
do." Um, I beat myself up. My kid likes very specific things, like, he goes through phases. Like, he's been in a grilled cheese phase for about a month.
Mhm.
It was a pizza phase for a while. He go
Yep.
whatever. I always say to myself, "You're such a bad mom. All you make your son for dinner is one thing for weeks at a time. A grilled cheese on the oven? Really? That's all you can manage for your kid?" Dana. I beat myself up about it. He praised me
Mhm.
for it. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, it's so cute.
My mom rocks. She works so hard. Jessica, I have been in such a funk, and have said, I tell my son when I do my self tapes or I'm recording my podcast or whatever,
Mhm.
I do say, "Mommy has to work. Mommy has to work," because
Mhm.
these things are my job. But
Of
it
course.
doesn't, I feel invalidated constantly because I don't get paid for my work. Yesterday, I spent from 7:30 in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon getting some self tapes in,
Mhm.
just auditions, just for the opportunity at a job,
Mhm.
hours. And then I had to finish all the other things I needed to do before I picked up my son, made him dinner, got him in the shower, all these things, right? But because I don't have a job and get paid for it, I
Mhm.
always think my son must think I am so lazy that I don't. And he
Lady.
said, "My mom rocks. She works hard."
So
He
cute.
sees me cleaning. He sees me doing my auditions. He sees me recording my podcast. He sees me running around
Mhm.
to get this and get that and take him here and do that. He sees me work hard. I see
That's right.
myself as a failure. How beautiful that my son can tell me, "My mom rocks. She works hard."
Mhm.
Ugh. My mom and I like to go places.
Oh.
That touched my heart because I tell
Yes.
myself constantly, I don't do enough with my child. I don't take him to music classes and I don't take him to the beach every week. And like I see all these other parents that are constantly on the go, doing things and going places. And I'm like, I don't do that. It's just, first of all, not in my nature. And, I'm kind of a homebody, whatever. But he thinks I do. He thinks I take him places. It's a
Even the littlest things are an adventure.
yes. Um, I let this one gave me tears. I love when my mom waters her plants.
Oh,
He sees that that's important to me and that it brings me joy and
yep.
peace, and he loves it. He sees me caring for something,
Mm-hmm.
not just him. He sees that I am caring for things, and he loves it.
It's beautiful.
Last one, and then we'll move on. My mom is so nice. I would never describe myself as a nice mom.
Oh, eh.
But
It's so
my nanny
cute.
said that he talks all the time. I also it's funny because Dan Tipton says to Henry sometimes because he just rolls his eyes at me all the time, right? And he's like, "You know your mommy gets paid to be funny." And he's like, "Ugh," like he can't believe it. But what's so funny is his teachers and his nanny tell me all the time, "My mom is so funny," he says.
It's so cute. See, the things that we don't even know or realize about ourselves. And I love that you kind of found that as a surprise.
It was just
Just like
such a
right at
sweet
just
peek
mhm.
into not Dana's poisoned brain view of who
Yep.
she is, but my son's view
Yes.
of who I am. And if he thinks that, then there have to be other people that see me differently than I do too.
Of course.
Because I see myself as kind of bitchy, pretty lazy, constant train wreck. Uh, like none of what that card said. I don't
Mhm.
see any of that. And in fact, even when I spend time on my plants and stuff, I'm like,
Mhm.
should I be watching funny animal videos or something with him? Like, I feel
Ah.
like it's selfish that I'm doing that, but he sees it as something beautiful and giving.
Mhm.
Anyway, I just thought it was nice. I thought people could maybe relate to it
I love it.
because our inside voices are mean,
Mhm.
and it's not what we see of ourselves maybe isn't what everybody else sees.
Exactly.
So, anyway, I just wanted to share that. I thought it was so sweet.
I love it. Sweet little Henry.
Ah, he's a gem and he makes me laugh.
Well, I will tell you all very quickly how you can write into us
Yes, please.
because we had a deluge of things and we have cycled through them all, y'all. So bring them on. You can always reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves podcast, on Twitter at raves_the. You can send us a direct email at the rants and raves podcast at gmail.com or go to our website, hit the contact button, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Now, my rant will be short. It's not sweet. And I think I told Dana because I sent her a picture of what I'm about to
You
reveal.
have
And
to
I,
post the picture too
yes,
because it's
I
a little
said,
bit
you need to
insane.
show this to Henry.
Yes.
Um, okay. So I don't know. I can't be the only one, but for the apartment or townhouse dwellers out there, if you are a renter, do you have an asshole landlord?
Probably.
So we could be here all day ranting about all of the issues
I
over the
could rant
last
about
16 years.
yes, I could rant about your landlord because of all the things I've
Uh,
heard over the years. I told you I think he's a slumlord.
he is. It's not even, it's not, he might be. He
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
So I'm going to stay really focused. This is dealing with animals in particular. Okay. Now, the first time that we had an issue, and it was the whole building. Okay. And I live in a real nice neighborhood. My
Very.
building looks like a tenement structure from The Walking Dead. It was built, I think, in the 60s or the early 70s. They just keep plastering over the termite damage and spraying it with paint every other year. Everybody was having rats. And
Oh,
again, you're thank God don't see them during the day. It's not like they're just running around and they've taken over the place. But number one, there's rats everywhere. I don't care where you live in any
especially
corner of the
in
world.
California. I mean, I thank God for Ollie who patrols our yard
Yes.
because you'll see a big old rat run across the power lines in California all the time.
100%
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah.
from Beverly Hills to
Yes.
the ocean. I mean,
Yes.
they're literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So when we had an issue with that a few years ago, I remember calling because I got pissed at Alan. I'm like, I'm like, you keep leaving like your burnt crumbs from everything on the stove, and it's really starting to annoy the shit out of me. And he's like,
Because they'll come.
it was rat shit.
It wasn't crumbs.
No. And we called a guy from the exterminator company, and he said the first thing he did was look under the kitchen sink. He goes, that's where they're coming in. I'm like, how do you know? Where? He goes, you see that area around your pipes that they didn't close off? He goes, that's lazy work. He said, if there is a hole the size of a quarter, a rat can squeeze through it.
Or they'll
So my
just
point
chew
of,
their way through it. I mean, they chew their way through a body. You've heard
oh
of
yeah,
that, right?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The Iceman did that to somebody
So
once
gross.
and recorded it. Ooh.
No. My point of saying that is when I called him and I said, nope, it's definitely rats. I've spoken to other people in the building. We could hear them in the walls. They are
Oof.
getting in, and they were coming in through the storage lockers in our like carport below the building because
Mhm,
that's open air on one side.
mhm.
Anyways, this is my landlord, and I quote, well, Jessica, perhaps you came home from work one night and opened the door, and a rat ran in and you just didn't see it. I said, "No,
No.
it's not running in when I get home. It's not waiting for me to come home and open the door and running in and then scurrying out the next time I leave the next day, just hiding there waiting."
And cooks while you're gone, and you got fucking ratatouille in your house over there.
Okay? He wasn't cooking, he was gnawing through our bags of bread.
And then pooping on your stove.
Yes,
Oh god, it's so gag-inducing.
it's beyond. So I'm
Yeah,
just giving you a frame of context.
'kay.
But we cut to a week ago, and
You mentioned on the show, let's remind the
did I?
listeners, you mentioned
That
that
I
you
heard something and I
heard
didn't know what
something
it
in the
was?
bathroom.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay, so y'all, remember I said it was a very distinct.
Yeah,
Can you
scratching.
hear that?
Yes.
That's the exact sound I heard.
Okay.
For a week straight, I lived the telltale heart, okay? I heard scratching. I didn't know what the hell it was. I kept beating on the wall, beating on the ceiling. Then I would turn on the fan. Now, I'm not a creep and I wasn't trying to hurt it no matter what it was.
Just
But I
scare it
also thought,
away.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
get out of here.
yeah.
Shoo, fly. Well, that didn't
It
work.
wasn't no fly. It wasn't no
Okay.
fly.
So I have deduced it's not a bird, right? Birds,
Mhm.
you'd hear their little feet. You'd also hear a little bit of tweeting. Like you could hear something if it was a bird, and it would have to be a small bird. Okay.
And
Knew it
bats
wasn't
are
that.
squeaky. Bats
Bats,
will
and I've lived
squeak.
with bats before. I had a place that was infested with bats when I was in
Ugh,
college. I'm very familiar with bats.
and you can't kill them.
No,
I don't
and
like to
not in
kill things
Alabama. They're
anyway.
the largest predator to the boll weevil.
Okay.
It's illegal to kill. They're all fruit bats anyways. We don't have those vampire bats
Yeah.
that like attack cattle. That's not in this
Most bats are
continent.
harmless, but you can't get rid of them. They're
Well, they're
protected.
also great mosquito catchers. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the way that possums catch ticks. Bats love mosquitoes. So, anyways, we cut to that scratching. I call my landlord. I'm like, it's not a bird. It's not a squirrel. It would be rustling around. And my squirrels talk like Chippendale all day long and
Yeah.
run across my roof. I said, look, I don't know what it is, but it's something alive and it's in there. And he's like, but is it constant? And he's like, I said, I don't know. It's the telltale heart. I literally told him that. I told him about the
Yeah.
scratching.
Yeah.
He told me turn on the fan. All that. We cut to these men show up. One guy gets on the roof. Another guy opens up. I love how I keep turning around looking at
I
it.
know. What are you looking at?
Another guy opens up the fan, pulls it out of the ceiling, and they're like taking a broom and they're just trying to like brush away like all the pine straw and stuff because pine straw had been falling through the vents onto
That's
my
also not
bathroom floor
good.
and toilet. No, I know. So he's like, I can't see it. We can't see anything. And I said, I'm telling you, there's something in there, or you've got to close off that vent. I don't know what to do. All of a sudden, the guy gasps and he goes, oh my God, I
Oh,
see
no.
it.
Oh, no.
And I said, what is it? He goes, I don't know. I think it's a snake.
Ah!
I have to be honest. I'm scared.
Oh my god, I don't
I don't either, but I was like, dude, I thought you were gonna have some kind of snake wrangler
Yeah, like
pincers
a
to
hook
grab
or
it
yes,
and like a
yes.
burlap sack that you then have like a
Put
slip
it
knot
in,
on.
and
Nope.
then go release it in the wild, and we're all good.
Do you know what he came with?
What?
A bag that you get at a convenience store, and he was trying to hold it up. And I said, "Sir, let me get you a bag and some tape." I got him a full size trash bag
Yeah, that
and
you
some
can't
packing
just use a
tape
claw and get through.
so he can tape it off
Uh-huh.
and hold it so that whatever falls in there can fall into the bag and then you can close it up. So he was very appreciative. Anyways, we cut to he catches it, he says we can't find it. I see the bag and I see it moving. I'm like, look, I don't know what it is. There's something in there. Please take it down. Go outside. It was an alligator lizard.
Which I've never heard of.
Me neither. They do look like mini alligators. They
Yes,
apparently
it
can have
did.
a gnarly bite.
Which you
And
said irritates the skin, right? If there's some
yes,
kind of venom in
yes.
their saliva.
I don't know. I mean, I know that seems weird. It's like, of course, lizards can climb and all that, but whoever thought a lizard was going to come in through the roof? Like, it was the last thing on my mind. Okay.
Yes, and live above your toilet. I mean, I started
I
having
was scared it was going to die and then there would be maggots. That's where my
oh, because
mind always
my head
goes.
went straight to snakes on a plane. I was imagining every way this thing was gonna
Eggs.
follow on you, like, fall on you while you were on the
Oh,
toilet or
God. Please,
yeah.
no. Please, no. But even Alan's like, it wouldn't be a snake. Snakes can't climb. I'm like, the hell
Yes, they
they
can.
can't. And I looked them up. Not all species, but plenty of them can. And I don't hope I ever encounter that.
Now listen, I love lizards, I own one,
Me too, but it
but
wasn't a
I
cute little gecko
no, it
like your
wasn't a cute
Murphy.
it wasn't, it wasn't.
This was a
I
Jurassic Park spawn.
something. It was it didn't look friendly, the picture you showed me.
No, 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 no. I did not like it.
I just
Anyways,
felt like it was very important for you to let the listeners know
yes. My
what
my rant is stop trying to poo-poo something. Oh, because I think I left this out. My landlord said, "Well, Jessica, this happens all the time. It sounds like a bird has made its nest on the top of the exit vent on the roof, and therefore some of its nest materials are falling through the vents." Yep, that's what it is. A little sparrow just tweedly ding and dropping a few pieces of pine needle here and
and
there.
then those pine needles somehow maneuver themselves around to create a scratching noise.
It was the most distinct, like you could tell that it was a nail. That's why I'm like, well, it's not a talon. Like eagles and owls and whatnot are too bloody big to get up there. It never occurred to me a lizard.
Also, can I just say, don't you hate it when someone uses your name as a condescension?
Uh, Major.
Because that is a thing.
Of
Well,
course.
Dana, I had a school administrator do that to me
Uh-huh.
on a Zoom call one time. Well,
It's like to let
Dana,
you know, well, you
your
young
place.
lady. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because everybody was calling him Mr. So and so. And I said, well, Martin, I'll let you know. I mean, I gave it right back. That
Well,
man was not a
Martin.
fan of me, for
Oh
sure.
my
Because I
God.
was like, don't use my name like it's a curse word.
Okay.
Well, Dana, and like I'm stupid. My name is not a condescension, you. I hate that.
I hate it too.
I don't like to be called sweetie or hun or any of that either.
Unless you're a
My
waitress in her
grandma,
mid-60s at the Waffle House when I go home to Atlanta, sure.
yeah, and that's what you go there for. They are Flo from Alice.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's like going to one of those restaurants where people are rude to you. It's a thing.
Mhm.
But in real life, if somebody calls me hun or honey and they are not my grandma, no. And also don't use my name as a condescension. My mama and daddy gave me that name and I like it.
Ugh.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I am 100% glad that that alligator lizard did not fall on your head while you were peeing.
Okay. That was also the only reason why I wasn't freaking. Not that something couldn't push it down, but it was like partially sealed from when they painted the ceiling, God knows how many years ago. So like there was some paint in which, so I falsely or accurately was like, well, it's partially sealed like every inch or so. So there's no way it can fall through. Well, they pulled it down, no problem,
I'm
right quick.
sure. I'm sure. And if that thing had gotten any bigger and laid eggs,
The eggs, that's the most horrifying part. I should have asked them to make sure they cleaned it out.
oh no, can have
I think they
nightmares.
did. I swear, because I'm like, well, that hasn't been open in at least 16 years, maybe
Ugh,
longer.
they did because they were probably like, we don't want to come back here. That was
Oh my
scary.
God. He was scared. I think it's a snake. I have to be honest. I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude.
Ah,
You're like, me too. I live here. That's why I called you.
I know.
Oh my God.
Okay. What do you
Okay.
have to bring
I've
us
got a
this week?
rant. Let me read it to you here. We'll keep it kind of short, but here we go. People making
Mm-hmm.
up excuses or false answers to questions they don't know the answer to. Actually, that actually really well goes with your rant too. Like your landlord going,
I think it's a
well,
bird.
Jessica, this happens. Oh, really? Jurassic dinosaur lizards just happen to fall into people's houses all the time above their toilets. Anyway,
Ugh.
questions they don't know the answer to. Just say, I'm not sure. Let me find out. Don't make up some baloney and think that it is okay and will suffice and make the issue go away or temper someone's frustration. Like the elevator in my hotel was broken and I mentioned it to the front desk and they said, oh, someone is probably just holding the door open. I said, really? For 10 minutes? Hours later, a sign was hung on the elevator saying it was out of order. Yeah, I cannot stand that. And I have to say, this is gonna go against my child's bouquet he made for me that I'm nice,
Oh.
because I was definitely not nice to my poor husband one time. Uh, we were talking about wanting to make some decisions. I'm sure everybody's heard that, like, LAUSD did some bad things during COVID
Mm-hmm.
with education,
Yep.
and we were kind of in the middle of some of that, and, because we were doing online schooling for a bit.
Yep.
And so we had spoken to a lawyer and she kind of laid everything out for us, what her options were, blah, 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 blah. So when he and I were discussing it, he was like, yeah, he just like pulled some stuff out. He's like, well, I don't think this, and this would happen because this, that, and that. And I just stared at him and I go, I go, why? And he goes, well, just because this, blah, 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 blah. Like the details don't matter. It was just that he was spouting bullshit that he didn't know to convince
Yeah.
me to calm down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had lost it at that point. I was fighting. I was in mama bear mode. Okay.
Yes.
No one will do horrible harm to my child. So when he gave his reasoning, I go, yeah. I go, I got a question to ask you. How do you know? Are you a lawyer?
Oh my God.
He goes, well, no, I'm just assuming. And I go, oh, you're assuming, but you're speaking it to me to convince me to be quiet as if it's right. I go, I'm sorry, but that's not what the lawyer just said who we spoke to. So what law school did you attend that taught you differently?
Oh
Finally, he had to say, you're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then,
my.
of course, because I am an uber meanie, I go, yeah, that's right. And while we're on the subject, stop doing that to me. If you don't know something, don't make it up and go, well, actually, I think, blah, blah, blah,
Thank
blah.
you.
Just say, I'm not sure.
Yes. And my favorite, you know what? I really don't know, but let me see if I can find someone who does.
Correct.
I don't expect you to know everything and you don't either, but don't make it up just to appease or to move on
Quiet
because
me.
it's, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Ah.
Don't say things that you're spewing as fact when you have no basis for that knowledge. You plucked that knowledge out of your anus.
Yes.
That knowledge came from your butthole. You made it up. It came out of your butt. You sewed it into a blanket and you're trying to lay that blanket over me. Ah! I do not accept.
God.
Am I wrong?
No. Also, you
No.
know what's really not a joke? When people do that, especially at a restaurant, and you say, "Oh, is the soup dairy free, or is the soup does is such and such gluten free?" Whatever they say, I think so. You think so,
Yeah. Sometimes people are asking because they have medical issues.
or are
That
allergic and
yes.
they could die?
Yes, you say, "I'm not sure, let me go ask the chef."
Also, why don't you know, you fool, in this day and age?
I know.
But
Especially if
seriously,
you're
when people go,
working in a
I'm not
service.
sure.
Mhm.
I hate that. It's like, "Oh, well, what comes on the turkey club?" Turkey,
And a club.
uh, let it it's like, "Can you go find out?" Okay?
Yes, yes.
Oh my
I
god.
can't stand it. And that happens a lot when you're, like, in a group of people and something like politics comes up
Mhm.
or something specific about, animals. Well, I don't really think there's that many killer bees around here, maybe some hives are aggressive, but oh yeah? What fucking bee school did you go to? Is your grandma a bee and she told you these tales that have been passed down through the family? Nah, I'll tell you, you pulled that out your butt. That is a butt shawl of information that you're trying to put over my shoulders, and I ain't having it.
Butt shawl.
Yes.
Data.
It's baloney.
I
You
cannot
have
handle
no
this.
basis for that. You're just spewing words out your mouth. Gross, because the thoughts came out your butt.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, rant over.
I think it's time for a cleansing breath.
It's definitely between Secret and Playboy, alligator lizards, and butt shawls. We need a cleansing. Okay,
Oh,
part of our show where we try to rein in this the crazy.
oh my god.
We've just ranted about sometimes silly things, sometimes heavy
Mhm.
things. I think we had a mixture of both this
Mhm.
week. Um, but we like to get it all out to have some sense of normalcy in this crazy
Mhm.
world right now. We get it out and then we take a deep breath in, blow out all the bad, and fill up the rest of the show with mostly good news and kindness or funny.
Yes.
Mostly. So, if you can scream it out, I always recommend that. I know it sounds crazy and be careful with your voice, with your vocal
Mhm.
cords, but it is a real release.
Mhm.
If you can't scream it out, still please at least pause, take this breath with us. Breathing is so lovely. It's going to
It
make you feel
really
better.
is.
It just unwinds you. It's like you get your panties in a
Does.
twist. You take a deep breath and your panties just come untwisted, even if it's
Mhm.
just a little bit. Fashion is really on my mind today. All right, let's take a deep breath in and oh yes.
Going right into this corner with
Uh-huh.
a weirdo of the week. You're
Ooh.
weird. You're so very weird. Why must you bring your weirdness here? I love how my voice always ends at the it's like my father. I can't sustain the breath support. And it's like, eep,
I love
always.
that you just outed your dad as not being able to sing a long breath.
Ah, it's exactly like me. I love it. Okay. Brought to us by Spooky. It's been a while.
It's been
Oddity
a minute.
Central.
Yes.
US family visiting Israel tries to take home unexploded bomb as a souvenir.
Now, I didn't read the article because I decided I wanted to be surprised by it, but
Mhm.
I will tell you when I
You saw the
read that
picture?
I no, I just read the headline in our outline, and
Uh-huh.
I thought, "Ooh, this might easily be me." I
Ah.
myself being like, "What a cool piece of history."
You're like, it didn't open. It
It
must be
obviously
expired.
it didn't work, it's fine.
I'm picturing how petrified the airport workers must have been. I'm
Oh my god.
serious because
Yeah.
I think I would have a heart attack.
Oh god, yes.
An American family caused quite the scare at Israel's
Of
main
course it was
international
an
airport.
American family. Of course it
Of
was.
course it was.
Ugh.
Last week, after presenting an unexploded bombshell as a souvenir at a security check, passengers at Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv suffered the fright of their lives last Thursday when a U.S. family casually presented an unexploded ordnance at a security check. A member of the family, whose names have not been revealed, had reportedly picked up the explosive as a souvenir on a visit to the Golan Heights and decided that it would be a good idea to take it home to the States as a souvenir. According to eyewitnesses, the man simply took it out of his backpack and showed it to a security staff, asking them if it could be put in a suitcase. We'll put the picture of this. Number one, it's not small. I mean, it's like larger than an adult hand in length. I'm
Oh
looking
my
at like
god.
a hand next to it. Shocked by the unexpected quote souvenir, one security officer ordered the immediate vicinity of the old bombshell to be cleared, but another passenger misheard the order and started shouting, "Terrorist shooting."
Oh
Oh
god.
my
Oh my god,
God.
I see people on the ground hiding.
Panic ensued almost instantly, and video shortage from the airport shows people either shouting and fleeing or simply lying on the floor waiting for the danger to pass. Oh my God, these people should be arrested.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. Oh my
I
god.
mean,
Yeah, it's not small. I mean, it's not ginormous, but it is not small.
the unexploded bombshell is believed to date back to the Israeli Syrian War of 1967. The Golan Heights was pummeled by heavy bombings and artillery during the Six-Day War, and decades old unexploded ordnance is still discovered periodically. This is why one of the billion reasons why war is awful. I mean, this still goes on in
Yeah.
Cambodia and many other countries where there's landmines that have not been detonated.
Yes.
As for the U.S. family, they were held for a quick round of questioning, and once officials determined they were not a threat, they were allowed to board the plane back home. No, I am shocked.
I don't
My eyes
know
are
what
popping out.
I like, I joked and said, "Oh, I can see myself doing that," but honestly, I don't it's like when you see old westerns and they're carrying sticks of dynamite in the back of the wagon. You're like, "No!
Yes,
Not in a
yes,
million
yes,
years!
yes.
I would walk to California before I would ever."
Seriously.
And I don't wanna
Holy
be
crap.
handling anything explosive that hasn't exploded
Mm-mm.
because it's not stable. No way. No way.
No.
That's insanity.
I will tell you one thing really quick as an aside, because I always will remember this. I heard this on NPR. This was, remember when they started putting in those freaking things that we all have to go through? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if you think I
The
like going
X-ray
to the
machines.
airport, and having that
Yeah, where we look
radiation
naked,
every time,
and we look naked.
yes,
Like, you can see fat deposits, so they can see my boobs.
it's, I still always get felt up
I don't
and checked
y
out most of the time, even after going through those, by the way.
yeah.
Um, but the head of security for Ben Gurion Airport was on NPR when those first came about,
Mhm,
saying what a joke that was, and that that was a way to make money, that it
mhm,
does not find what they are looking for. Remember, the guys was explosive powders. He said
mhm.
it does not pick up the things that they are telling you in America that they do.
I'm sure.
And do you know what they do in Ben Gurion?
Mm-mm.
They look at your pupils. Number
To see
one,
if
they
they're
don't have people
dilated.
that make $12 an hour working TSA. They have highly trained people who look you dead in the eye and
Mhm.
ask you specific questions. And based on the movement of your
'Cause you
pupils,
yeah,
they
you
know if
can't
you're
control
lying
that.
or not.
Yes, they you can't control, pupil dilation.
They've never once had a hijacking or a terrorist incident at the airport,
That's so
like with
fascinating
success.
because,
I'm
they say, when you're with another person to watch their eyes, and if their eyes dilate, they probably are in love with you. Because you can't control that. But
so
also one
weird.
thing, you know me, I'm obsessed with true crime stuff, and
Hmm.
you know how everyone always explains people survivors who are attacked,
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, their eyes were black, they looked like a demon." Well,
Yep.
there's a reason for that, because when your adrenaline is high, your pupils dilate.
Yep.
So if you are lying, your pupils would dilate. If
Yep.
you are murdering something, you have black eyes
It's
because it's
crazy.
uncontrollable physically for a
Yes.
human to control that. So that's
Oh, wow.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
Stop being idiots. I can't believe that they were not like charged or something. That's
It
just
is a little surprising, but maybe they were like, "You're so stupid. We can't even feel good about punishing you."
like, what if that went off and took out the whole airport? I'm
Absolutely.
serious.
Absolutely.
Like, what if he's like, "Oh," and dropped it, and that's what it took to set
That's
it
what
off?
it took.
I
It
don't know
triggered it.
anything about it, but I
No,
mean
but
it.
they're unstable explosives is the point. It's unstable
Yes.
because it didn't go off when it was supposed to, but that doesn't mean it won't ever go off.
Right?
Yeah. Ugh,
Ugh.
scary. All right. Well, my corner is honestly, I don't often fight with you about the labeling of corners, but we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Jessica.
Okay.
You labeled it an excuse me corner. I would have labeled it an oh wow corner.
Okay, okay.
All right. Here we go. This is from the Mirror.uk.
Mhm.
It is written by Dean Murray and Laura Sharman. They are news reporters for the Mirror. Here we go. Nightmarish humanoid child robot
Oh
that
god.
bleeds and has seizures could save lives. Now, just reading that, you're probably thinking, now, Dana, Jessica was probably right, but let me get into it. Okay. Pediaroid, don't like the name, but we'll
So
move on.
weird.
It's
It
a weird
sounds like something from the Jetsons. Okay?
Pediaroid. It's also Pedia_roid.
I did not like it.
Yeah, it's not a great name, but it is a name designed to instill fear, I believe.
Ugh.
Is described as the world's first humanoid designed specifically for pediatric emergency care training. The
Okay.
bot the bot can realistically simulate the jittery movements of a child who is reluctant to receive treatment or a sudden change in medical condition. In contrast to motionless dummies used for most medical training, Pediaroid displays realistic childlike behaviors including kicking and screaming in fear or pain.
Oh. That's
Uh,
actually amazing.
It is because, well, let me keep going. The child
Mhm.
robot is also designed to help trainee dentists learn how to work with unruly children. My son hates the dentist. He does
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good, but I've seen other kids that are like, "Nope, I'm out of the chair," you
Yes,
know,
they freak out.
freak out. A Japanese robotic startup, Timsook, says that it has developed it in response to the fact that there are few opportunities for clinical training for children in the field of medical education. They explain, quote, it can reproduce in detail the expression of emotions such as anxiety, fear, resistance, changes in facial color, pupils, and breathing sounds. In addition to dental treatment, the system can be used for training in various fields of pediatric medicine, including emergency care. Simulations can be customized via PC with 24 programmable drive shafts, enabling joint movements to mimic symptoms like seizures.
Wow.
Compressed air actuators keep the robot from breaking while being held down, and the arms and legs can flap and swing erratically. Pediaroid also features a beating heart, replenishable imitation blood, and replaceable individual teeth that can be shaved or drilled upon.
Wow.
We pulled together our robotic expertise to create a humanoid that suddenly falls ill or presents drastic changes in symptoms. So medical trainees can experience tense moments and learn how to save lives under tremendous pressure. New doctors, nurses, and EMTs often panic under pressure because they've only been able to practice on motionless dummies.
Mhm.
Pediaroid not only develops symptoms, but also throws a tantrum, forcing the students to hold it down while trying to treat the child properly. It's an ultimate emergency simulator. I thought that was amazing because
Yes.
it is true. Like they're doing all this training, but when you have a child
God.
screaming and kicking and flailing and terrified, bleeding or seizing,
Or
I
can't
mean,
speak for a number of reasons and tell you what's wrong. They're
yes, to
oh
know
god.
to continue to give help in the face of those struggles is, I mean, priceless.
It's really incredible. I was really
I mean,
creeped out by it
it is a creepy thing, I
because I
will
am
say.
creeped out by AI and where
Have
it's
you seen
going.
the hell Freudian slip? The hotel. I think it's in Japan or China, one of the two, that is completely robot automated.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
It's a little bit
Huh.
creepy. And what's so creepy about those things to me though is that, Ex Machina, did you ever see that movie?
Yes.
When it comes to AI technology and robots and things, if that day ever comes for us, I will never be able to hurt them. I mean, I don't even kill spiders or mosquitoes anymore. How am I gonna how am I gonna protect myself against a robot that's stronger than me and looks like a human?
I
I
don't know.
won't. I won't. I'll just be killed.
Oh
I
my God.
definitely would believe whatever an AI robot told me. If they were like, I care about you, we can get out of here together. I would be like, I care about you too. Let's go. Let's find a farm. Let's get a llama and some chickens. And then they would murder me.
Did you ever watch Westworld?
Yes.
It was so real, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
obviously, because it's humans playing robots,
Right, right.
but
I mean,
incredible and
Ex Machina is an
horrifying.
older movie, but if you haven't
Mhm.
seen it, you won't be scared out of your britches. You watch it.
Uh,
AI scares me. It does.
100%.
Because AI, the way it's progressing now, because we just keep pushing and pushing, it's making its own decisions and doing like
Uh,
this is creepy.
it's real creepy.
I mean, if that child bleeding robot got up off the table and came running after me, gnashing its teeth that they've drilled down, I'd be running like
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Anyway, that's my corner, Jess.
All right. Well, I have a corn.
I'm
I mean, I
sorry.
shouldn't make a joke about this, but
I
I'm
shouldn't
not going
have.
to make a joke. Go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted your joke.
No,
I was
please.
just gonna say, I'm sorry I disagreed with you on the title, but I had
How
specific
dare
medical
you? You can
medical
always.
reasons.
And I totally agree. Well, this actually ties in not we didn't even plan for this, and I love when things work out like this. But from the top of the show and then bringing it full circle, this is very timely. This is an organization called Seek, WELLSEEK.
Yes.
Seek works with advocates and organizations to create social impact for the intersection of gender equality and community care. As a collective, we're shifting the paradigm of women's mental health and the change makers and allies who are leading the way.
Mm.
Why is, quote, wellness failing women? Despite a rapidly growing global wellness market now worth over $4.2 trillion, mental health disorders are still on the rise and disproportionately impact women. Women's health is inextricably linked to their status in society. It benefits from equality and suffers from discrimination. Today, the status and well being of countless millions of women worldwide remain tragically low. As a result, human well being suffers and the prospects for future generations are dimmer. That is from the World Health Organization, Women's Mental Health, and evidence based review. WellSeek's initiatives are focused on public policy determinants identified by the World Health Organization to play critical roles: sociocultural factors, community support, and personal development skills. According to WHO, women are twice as likely as men to suffer from depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and other mental health struggles. Without addressing how we improve the structural determinants which define their lives and health, our current wellness industry is missing the mark in creating a true positive impact along their path to profit. Led by founder Dr. Monica Moe, our community is igniting deeper conversations that initiate sustainable solutions that empower and inspire a better tomorrow. Because when we help women, we help the world.
Wow.
Here are the areas we're focused on: advocacy. We amplify support for women who are activating public support for change at a cultural and community level. Community. We share accessible resources and social connections to provide compassionate support in times of need. Media. We create conscious content alongside the voices, rewriting the narrative on women's health and well-being. Anyways, it's a really beautiful site. There's a lot to explore on here as far as what they offer, how you can work with them, how you can connect, how you can be a supporter. It's a really wonderful site. And I love that the bottom of their page says, "Let's join forces for the greater good." One of
I
my
love
favorite
that.
quotes that several of my friends use on the regular basis is, "A high tide raises all ships." So
Right.
please seek them out. Their website is wellseek.io. And at first I was like, huh, but that is what worked as a link. I don't know what the IO is. That is
I've
new
seen
to me.
some. Yeah, I've seen some. I don't know what it
Is
means
that
either, but I
international organization,
maybe
maybe? I don't
mm,
know.
somebody can tell us, or we could just look it up ourselves.
Yes, but check out Wellseek.
Yes, I
Um,
love that. Hearing that more women suffer from mental health issues, it's not surprising to me, and I'll tell
right?
you why. If I can just share my
Mhm.
therapy with you this week. I'm always pretty open and vulnerable about what I'm going through, and I've been in a
Sure.
funk the last couple of weeks, like an
Mhm.
angry, almost paralyzed, can't be motivated to do anything kind of
Mhm.
funk. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and I was like, my words for it were lazy and not able to, just be a human and all
Right.
these things. And she's so lovely. She was like, okay, I hear you talk constantly about, oh, I feel like I have to keep my house in order. Other mothers are better at it than I am. And my husband works all day. So you run around and like manic clean, trying to prove your worth in the home or whatever. And then I hear you talk about your friends always call you, when they're having a hard time, and you make sure you answer the phone because they may need you. It may be an emergency. She said, I hear a lot of this about other people taking care of, feeling guilt about not being there for your father, things like that. She said, may I ask you, what have you been doing recently for self care? And I was like, oh, I guess staying in bed. She's like, no, that's not what I mean, Dana. She's like, when's the last time you painted? And I said, you know what? Honestly, it's been a couple of months.
Mhm.
Why? Do you not enjoy it anymore? I said, I love it. I just haven't had a chance. Okay. What about your plants? How are your plants doing? And I said, honestly, I haven't been tending to them the way I normally do. I haven't
Mhm.
lost anybody, but normally I am in there pruning. I make them look show ready, because it
Mhm.
makes me happy. And I've
Sure.
fallen off on that just because I'm like, and whatever the reasons, it doesn't matter. She goes, okay, so here's your assignment. I'm going to give you action. She said, I want you to, so far we've named your plants bring you joy. You're painting. I want you to give me 3 things you're going to do this week for yourself, whether it's go get a
Hmm.
facial, go whatever. So I decided for myself, I'm gonna paint this week. I'm going to tend to my plants the way I want to. I've got several terrariums ready to go. I just need to build them,
Ooh,
and I love
mhm.
terrarium. Um,
Yes.
and then I said, I'm going to take myself to the Huntington Gardens. I have lived here
Yes.
for almost 23 years, and I have always wanted to go, and I have never gone. I have never made the time to go, and there's no reason I can't do that by myself. I would enjoy it alone.
Mhm.
And she said, "You have to promise me that is your action for this week. You are going to do it, and while you are there, you are going to enjoy it fully and not be thinking about the things that you haven't done yet that you need to do. This is your assignment. This is
Mhm.
your action for yourself this week."
Yep.
And I was like, "I love that." So I would like to challenge everybody, but just since we're speaking of women and I'm a woman,
Totally.
all of you out there who have homes to take care of and jobs and or families or whatever your situation is,
Mhm.
take 3 things this week. And when she said, "What do you wanna do? What would make you happy?" I was like, "Oh." And she goes, "And I want them to be feasible, practical things you can do this
Yes.
week." And I go, "Oh, well, okay, that changes it." So, I guess I just wanna say to all of you listening, I challenge you.
Do
I
it.
want you to do your action this week is to do 3 things that make you happy. And
Yep.
do not tell yourself, "I should be doing the dishes. I should be picking up prescriptions. I should be getting my groceries." No.
Yep.
This is your assignment. It is self-care and it is important.
I love that you said that too, because I know I'm guilty of that, and I think most women are. That is so key. Like, stop
We always
berating
put
yourself or
others
thinking
around.
about what you could or should or blah, 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 because
Because it ruins the good times too.
exactly.
Yes.
You can't be present.
Mm-mm.
And it can be the littlest thing. You guys, I never do this. I love products and all this, and I always buy it. And then I'll look and I'm like, half of this shit has been sitting for how long? It's probably not even good anymore. The other night, do you know what I wanted to do? I just wanted to take a really long shower after
Mhm.
a long day. And I did. And Alan came in, he goes, "Oh, what are you doing?" Because it wasn't late, but I was like laying on the bed. And I that's when he saw, if you follow our social media, my horrifying mask that I put on.
Remember my horrifying video of that?
Yes. But even something that simple, I'm not kidding. I took a really long, relaxing shower, and then I got out of the shower. I was in clean pajamas, and I put on a freaking hydrating facial mask. And I literally took 20 minutes to lay there and let it do its thing. And I felt like $1,000,000 afterwards, and it
Yes.
cost me all of $3.
Exactly. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
do that, and
Yeah.
do as Dana said, do not think about the next thing. Try to enjoy the moment. I also did that this Sunday finally. I'm always like, well, I should be doing this, or I need to email about this for work. And I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
we're not doing that today. Today is
No.
going to be a day off
For
where I don't
Jessica.
do anything except just have fun, whatever that
Yes.
means.
Yeah. 'Cause, we put others first all the time. Here's a
Yes.
very simple example of it. Jessica, you gave me a candle, a couple of candles. There was a time in my life where I would not burn candles unless company was coming over.
Hmm.
And I just said to myself, "No, no. Why do the nice things have to be for everyone else?
Yes.
Why can I not light a candle for no reason in my house so that I can smell happy, yum, yum, fun time?
Yes.
I
While you're
can't."
painting, while
Correct.
you're doing anything.
While I'm watching true crime on my
Yes,
iPad in bed, I don't care as long as I blow it out before I go to sleep. It is okay for me to enjoy that. I don't have
that's
to
right.
save it for someone else.
Yep,
That was a gift to me to enjoy for myself, and that's
absolutely.
okay. And I know that's such a simplistic thing to think about,
No,
but
that's huge.
we when you add up all the times that you're doing things like that without even thinking, where is the self-care? Because
Mhm.
if you don't take care of yourself, you're gonna be crazier than me, and I guarantee you don't want that. Anyway, I love that, Jessica. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, of course.
I feel like my rave is a little bit, also apropos to some of the
Mhm,
things that we talked about earlier. My rave for this week is Hearts of Gold. You can find
mhm.
them at heartsofgold.org. Um, Working in partnership with homeless mothers and their children. Hearts
Hmm.
of Gold helps them create positive, sustainable change in their lives under three umbrella objectives: stabilize, support, and sustain. We engage with the moms and kids we serve to help them gain the knowledge, skills, and confidence they need to be able to transition out of the shelter system and become fully independent and productive members of society. Our programs include our HOG Fresh Start University Workforce Development Program, which provides on the job training at our resale store, The Thrifty Hog, and
Aw.
scholarships to support higher educational opportunities for mothers. For the children, we provide private and semi private tutoring at our Hearts of Gold Learning Center, which includes a building skills associated with STEAM, STAM disciplines, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, as well as a summer camp experience through STEP, our Summer Teen Enrichment Program. Our services include fresh start bags, baby shower in a bag, an annual
Aw.
back to school backpack giveaway, and annual Christmas coat giveaway. So some of the thing I just want to give you some statistics real quick, and then I'll read you a little bit more about what they do. But
Mhm.
35,200 lives have been positively impacted since
Wow.
1984. $258,000 spent to equip our school-aged kids with backpacks filled with grade-appropriate school supplies. 400 plus fresh start bags annually given to moms entering or leaving shelter life. I
Hmm.
love that. Hearts of Gold accomplishes its mission in partnership with its adopted shelters. We have a close collaborative relationship with each shelter, in particular with their respective directors who identify the mothers and children most in need. Because the work we do is beyond the shelter's operational scope, our work is of critical importance, not only to the moms and kids we serve, but also to the overburdened shelters themselves.
Hmm.
I love it. You can go to their website. They have ways you can donate, ways you can help. It gives more information about them. Please check them out. These moms and children need help. And I
Yes.
know right now, if you're saying that people are being forced to not use birth control, have
Hmm.
no access, listen, these people need help. So if you're going to
Yes.
be forcing that, then you best step up and help. Okay. I mean, regular, hardworking, full functional families
Can't
have to
afford things
can't
these
afford
days.
to survive without more than one job in the home.
No.
I know people. You, Jessica, have like 5 jobs. Our friend Kate has like 3. My friend Gracie
Yes.
has 2. Like,
It's not okay.
it's not
And
okay.
we're educated, able-bodied, smart,
Absolutely.
intelligent people.
And none of you have children. Can you
No.
imagine if you had children?
Absolutely not.
I mean, all of us
Because all
practically
I would be
are
doing is working.
correct. And then who takes care of your baby? Because I'll tell you, it costs more than a mortgage to have childcare. Do you
Oh,
know that the average going rate for a babysitter out here is $30 an hour
I'm sorry, what?
for one child? $30 an hour. And my friend told me the place he called with like professional vetted babysitters, $30 an hour with a 7-hour minimum. Who can do that?
Give me a freaking break.
Especially if it's like, I want to go to the movies with my husband and see a rated R movie instead of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I can't afford $300 to do it.
Holy crap. I will remind you, and if I can find it again, I will post it on Rants and Raves. I had my own business card made when I was a babysitter.
Uh,
I made $1 an hour.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
There was a time, I don't remember what family kicked it up a notch and gave me $2 an hour. They had 3 kids.
Oh.
Well, they had 2 at the time. They had a 3rd child. So I have your 2 children under the age of 5, and now your infant, your newborn, like from the time I was 3 months old on. And I asked for a raise of $1 per child, and they turned me down.
Unbelievable. I
And I
remember
was certified in infant and child CPR. I got certified at Scottish Rite, Atlanta's Children's Hospital. I
what?
was certified through a babysitter's course through the hospital. I was also that babysitter that would bring books that I thought were
Mhm,
fun for kids
mhm.
and construction paper and activities. Like, I really was Mrs. Doubtfire starting at the age of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I remember babysitting for the neighbor across the street, 2 kids, $3 an hour. But, I got her back because I ate all their peanut butter. Because if I was babysitting for you, I was gonna look at your food. I'm an overweight girl. You don't think I ain't looking at your food.
I will never forget a family I babysat for. The pantry was stocked with Jenny Craig. It was like a big thing back then, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
All Jenny Craig meals. And then I remember she's like, come over here. And she brought me into her laundry room. And then, those upper high cabinets
Yes,
that you're like,
yes,
who the hell stores anything up there, anyways? Because nobody can even reach it.
yes.
That's where she had all the goods, the little
Oh,
Debbie's, and the can't. She's like, help yourself, but nobody knows this is here except me.
shut up,
And
and
I
she
was
shared
dying.
it with you.
Well, even her husband didn't. She's like, you think he's ever walked in this room?
That is really eye-opening and gives me pause for thought.
Ah.
I remember my mom had candy and snacks that we weren't allowed to eat, and she'd eat them right in front of us and kept them in her bedroom.
Well, my
I think that
mom,
is mean.
yes. Or my mother was a professional chocolatier when I was a child. Not
Oh,
joking. There
oh,
was so many things that my mom did over the years.
oh,
It's probably where I get it from. She sold her handmade truffles that were to die for to Neiman Marcus, like
oh,
in the early 80s. It was like a big thing
wow.
locally because
Yes.
they had to be in the freezer or refrigerator or whatever.
Right.
So my mom would make them and then she would have them like in bags, like Ziploc storage bags in the freezer. And not only my brother and I, but our babysitters used to fucking steal those truffles because they were to die for. But it's like if somebody ordered 2 dozen, you can't give them 23 or 20.
No,
And
no.
my mom would have pre-counted that, and then they would come back to her and be like, so my
Uh,
mom taped, I can't even say this without laughing because it's so hilarious. In capital letters, keep your filthy paws off.
hilarious.
Paws, your filthy
Pause.
paws off.
Filthy. Hilarious.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, listen, I digress. Heartsofgold.org. Please check
Yes.
them out. I love what they do. It's amazing. Jessica,
Dana,
I think that's our show.
I think it is.
Would you like to tell people how to get a hold of us one more time?
Yes, please find us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves Podcast, on Twitter at Raves_the. You can send a direct email to the Rants and Raves Podcast at gmail.com or go to our website, hit the contact button, www.therantsandravespodcast.com.
.com. Thank you, Jessica.
Indeed.
Anything you need to share that you're watching or consuming? I guess we kind of did that at the top of the show.
We did, but I will say one thing. If you can get yourself to the theater, if you live in the Los Angeles area, I cannot recommend this enough. I'm always going to tout live theater, so will Dana, wherever you can find it, anywhere in the world. But right now in Los Angeles at the Geffen Playhouse, we have Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Wow.
I cannot recommend it enough. It is 60 years old, which is hard to believe.
I know.
But it still holds so much weight. And it is, if you don't know the story about a very dysfunctional marriage, please go see it. It's starring Callista Flockhart and Zachary Quinto. Ay, Dios mío. He is
wonderful.
So good and so hot. And let me tell you something. I'm not totally familiar with Callista Flockhart's acting. I know Ally McBeal, of course, but I never watched it. It wasn't a show
you
I
didn't?
watched.
My mom loved that show. We watched it.
She was outstanding, and so was Zachary. It's so good, you guys. It's a 3-hour-long play.
Yeah.
And there's 2 intermissions. I even said, if it's bad, we'll leave after the first intermission. I was on the edge of my seat.
Wow.
And the entire audience leapt to their feet for a standing ovation at the end. It's incredible. Wow. Highly, highly recommend it.
Excellent.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I told y'all everything I've been watching, so I don't need to get into that. But I do have a point to ponder that is actually sort of apropos to that.
Great.
So I'll read this point to ponder. Jessica, I adore you.
I adore you.
I'm sorry that I texted you first thing this morning and said I have no idea what plans we have set up for today. I doubt you were shocked.
Hilarious.
But I do enjoy you. I love doing this show. I love our listeners.
Same.
Here we go. Watching reruns helps your brain relax. Now, I've told you how. I don't know. I even said to our friend Shomer, I was like, I don't know what this says about me, but every night my night viewing is South Park. I will fall asleep to South Park because I feel like it's better to fall asleep to that than a crime podcast and like fill my head with murder before I sleep. Not that South Park is like the happiest show ever, but it does make me laugh. It's so stupid, but smart at the same time. I've seen all the episodes and I was like, why do I just rewatch these over and over? Well, watching your favorite shows and movies, rereading your favorite books, and listening to your favorite music over and over actually has benefits. It puts your mind in a state of ease. As humans, we have a limited pool of mental resources. When we're overwhelmed, we begin to have less self-control and less motivation for the tasks at hand. But when you watch a rerun or listen to your favorite tunes, you don't have that overwhelmed feeling. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I thought it was. Anyway, so if you're the person, and listen, I go through phases. Like I did I went through all of Family Guy for a while. I went through
Mhm.
all of South Park 2 or 3 times. I went through tons of Golden Girls. Like, it has become a
Yes.
habit for me that I will watch something repeatedly before I go to sleep, and now this makes sense why,
Yep.
right? You don't have to exert extra effort to control what you're thinking, which means your brain can do a quick mental reset.
Interesting.
So there you go, guys. Watch your favorite things over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I watched The Crazies the other day, which I've probably seen 12 times. It's not relaxing. Just don't go looking for it thinking, Dana said that she watches this. And I know. It's
The
a zombie.
Crazies.
It's a zombie movie. Okay.
Oh my god.
So don't go looking for it for relaxation. If you're not crazy like me, Jessica, we'll be back
Yes,
next week. Yeah.
we
All
will.
right. I love ya.
Love you too. Bye bye.
Bye.